I remember when I first had Jackson. I was scared and nervous and clueless. I mean, I didn't even know how to change a diaper. I remember asking my mom for her advice. She said, "Meg, it's been over 20 years since I had you. I don't even remember what I did last week." So I went to my friends and asked for their advice. They looked at my list of questions, laughed, and said, "Meg, you need help." And I did. I finally found help. Her name is Michelle, and she is a baby nurse. We hope that this video provides you with all the answers to your questions and makes you a more confident mom. Now I would like to introduce our baby nurse. With more than 25 years experience, Michelle has assisted new moms all over the world and taught them how to care for their newborns. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure, Meg.
And today, Michelle is assisting our new mom, Nicole, and her newborn, Chase. So, let's get started.
First, I'd like to say when you're about 6 to 8 months pregnant, start interviewing for pediatricians, interviewing as many as possible.
How does someone find a pediatrician?
I would ask my OBGYN, I would ask friends, family members, and you can also visit the American Academy of Pediatrics website.
Once you have your appointment, what questions should you ask?
I would go in with a list of questions such as what hospital are they affiliated with, what insurance do they accept, what are their office hours, who are they on call to after office hours, their philosophy on antibiotics. Most of all, just trust your intuition. Oh, Nicole, what a beautiful nursery.
Thank you.
And I love your crib. Nicole, did you make sure to have the ASTM JPMA seal of approval on the product packaging?
Yes, I did. It was very important to me. And I had a professional put together.
Great, I highly recommend that. Oh, and I see you have a nice firm mattress here. A firmer mattress will help in the prevention of SIDS.
I also chose sheets that are made of 100% cotton knit.
Great. And I love your bumper. It has a set of 6 ties. I would recommend a bumper with no less than 6 ties. This helps secure the bumper to the crib. Never place a baby monitor inside the crib. Also, never have big pillows, stuffed animals, toys, pacifiers with strings, or unused blankets. And always have your crib away from any shelves or pictures or wall hangings. Also, just to let you know that cribs made before 1990 may be hazardous to your baby's health because of the lead-based paint. I strongly discourage using hand-me-down or older cribs, but if you must, I recommend visiting the website for safety recalls and crib specifications. You have a great pad and cover. Oh, and I see you have nice deep drawers.
Yes, I wanted to have easy access to all clothing and supplies.
Now, Nicole, I'm going to show you how to pick up your baby. Okay, take one hand, gently place it under his head and neck for support. Take your other hand, put it under his bottom, lift him gently up and onto your shoulder. This is one cradling position, and another may be putting him down into the crook of your arm, supporting his head and neck and body. Nicole, one way to nurture your baby is by swaddling. It will provide warmth, security, and in some cases it will help with crying. After all, he was used to being in the womb. Take your blanket, make a triangle, lie it down. Hello, good guy. Pick him up gently, protect his head. You lay him down on the changing table. Take one corner of your blanket, put his arm down, fold it over. Bring the bottom part of your blanket up. Take his other arm, Gently put it down, never forcing a body part. Wait until he releases. Take your blanket here. Bring the excess end of the blanket over here. And there's your nice, cozy boy. Nicole, never place your baby on his stomach to sleep because a higher incidence of SIDS is related to babies who sleep on their stomach. Always place him on his back to sleep.
I have Chase sleeping in a sleep positioner.
Yes, some moms do choose to use the positioner, but just to let you know, he may be out of it by 3 to 5 months of age. Always check with your pediatrician for his or her recommendation. Nicole, when washing your bottles and pacifiers, it's best to have a bottle brush with a detachable nipple brush. First, I would recommend removing all your parts to your bottle. Take your dishwashing soap, place it on your brush. Some water into your bottle. Scrub well. Make sure to get the ridge of the bottle. This is where I use my nipple brush to clean the collar of the bottle. And last but not least, your nipple. Then you want to rinse all parts that you've just washed, and then we'll dry them. This is your bottle rack, and this is helpful in drying your bottle parts. Also, if you want to wash your pacifier, take your pacifier, put some soap on your nipple brush, rinse, and once again to your bottle rack for drying. If you choose to use your dishwasher, you may purchase a nipple basket. Take your bottle parts, rinse them well. Place them in the basket. The bottle is rinsed well. And this is put on the top rack of your dishwasher.
Okay.
Close your nipple basket. This also is placed on the top rack of your dishwasher, and they will come out clean.
Great.
Nicole, now I'm going to teach you how to dress your baby. Put his head back down gently. First, we'll unsnap his clothes. Take out his leg. We'll take him out of his pajamas. Gently lift his head. Pull the clothing out from behind him. Put his head back down gently. There we go. Okay, first I recommend putting on their socks because it's easier to get their clothes on after. Take his toes. Bring your sock up. Fan out your sock. Put it over his toes. And pull the sock up. Oh, what a cute outfit. Okay. In this case, we have snaps at the bottom of our clothing. So what I would recommend is folding your clothing like this, like we used to do with our nylons or pantyhose.
Yes.
Okay. Place it over his head. Sometimes they don't like this part. Gently pull down. Quickly pull it down over his face. They don't like their faces covered, you know. And thread his arm through again. Gently pull down his clothing. There are several ways to put on clothing depending on what you have. Okay, gently put his leg into his pant leg. Same on the other side. Okay, now we're ready to snap. Okay. We'll come down to the bottom part. Here we go. Hi. Is that great? Okay, gently pick him up. And there's your nice, clean, dry baby.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
There we go. Michelle, why should I breastfeed?
Well, Nicole, breast milk has the best balance of vitamins, minerals, fats, and proteins. It also has antibodies which may help prevent illness. It's easier for your baby to digest, and I've never had a constipated breastfed baby.
How many months should I breastfeed for?
Well, everyone has their own opinion on months or years you should breastfeed, but I recommend doing what's ever comfortable for you and your baby.
Will my body automatically produce milk?
Yes, the first milk it will produce is colostrum, and colostrum is the first food for your baby. Generally, your breast milk will come in anywhere from 3 to 5 days after delivery.
How will I know if I have enough milk?
Normally, by the amount of wet and dirty diapers your baby has, generally anywhere from 6 to 8 in a 24-hour period, and also how content your baby is after a feeding.
And how long should I nurse on each breast for?
Well, your baby can literally empty each breast in 7 to 10 minutes. I recommend nursing one side for 10 to 15 minutes, burping your baby, changing them, and then finishing with the second breast.
And why should I change his diaper in between?
I have found that after nursing on the first side, this stimulates your baby to have a bowel movement. Also, when you put your baby on the changing table to change him, it expedites getting a burp when you pick him up. And lastly, you don't want to have to change his diaper if your baby has fallen asleep after his feeding.
How often should I nurse?
Well, it's recommended to nurse every 3 hours during the day, from the beginning of one feed to the beginning of the next, even if you have to wake him. Then after your last feeding at night, anywhere from 9 to 11 p.m., let your baby set his own schedule. If your baby goes without breastfeeding anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, it's okay. You cannot overfeed your baby, so feed him when he's hungry.
If it hurts when he first latches on, what does that mean?
Sounds like an incorrect positioning or latch-on problem.
So how do I detach him?
Take your index finger or pinky finger, put it in the corner of his mouth, break this suction, and gently slide him off your breast. And remember, never pull him from your breast. Breast and nipple care. When you shower, avoid using soap on the nipple area. You can use a hair blower or heat to warm the nursing area. At the end of each feeding, express milk from each nipple and rub it on the nipple and areola. The antibodies in your milk will help heal your nipples. Warning signs of breast infection. A small, red, tender lump on your breast might be a sign of a blocked milk duct. Hardening of your breasts, heat sensations, redness, feeling chills or a fever of 101 degrees Fahrenheit or above. Call your OB/GYN if you experience any of these symptoms.
Michelle, a friend told me I shouldn't eat spicy foods while breastfeeding.
Yes, Nicole, whatever you eat, he eats. And just to remember that he has a very immature digestive system, so he may react to spicy foods. Remember that he's depleting a lot of fluids from your body, so good fluid intake and good nutrition are essential.
So when should I start pumping?
Well, it's really recommended not to start pumping until 2 weeks after you start breastfeeding. The reason being is that you want to establish a good demand and supply of milk with your infant. Nicole, thanks for the fresh pumped breast milk. At room temperature, you can use your breast milk for up to 4 to 6 hours. Breast milk should be stored in a sealed bottle. It will last 5 to 7 days in your refrigerator and 3 to 6 months in a freezer. You can store breast milk in a bottle or in specific breast milk baggies. If you want to use a Ziploc, it's recommended to double bag. Remember to mark the date and the amount pumped. Defrost milk by holding it under warm water, or place the bottle in a container of warm water. Remember, never refreeze breast milk. Never warm milk in a microwave. It may heat unevenly and possibly scald your baby's mouth and throat. Remember to test the temperature on your wrist. If you have leftover milk, you may use it for the next feeding only. If you think milk may be spoiled, just smell it. If the milk has a soapy smell, throw it away. Always read directions on your canister or bottle for preparation. Formula comes in 3 ways: ready-to-feed bottles, liquid concentrate, and powder form. It's your choice as to which type to use, but discuss with your baby's doctor as to which formula to start with. The 2 most important things to remember when you're doing this is to put your water in first and make sure that when you're scooping your powder that it's level and not packed. If you choose a powdered formula, it needs to be mixed immediately before feeding. Make sure to use filtered or bottled water that is room temperature or warm, whichever you choose. And remember, pour the water in first, then scoop the powder. We are making a 4-ounce bottle of formula, so the ratio would be 2 ounces of water to 1 scoop of formula. Once you've placed your powder in the bottle of water, shake it thoroughly, and it's ready to use.
Great.
If you mix powdered formula, put it in the refrigerator and use it within 48 hours. If you don't refrigerate it, you have 1 hour to use it. Adverse reactions to formula: vomiting, gas, irritability, crying right after a feeding, rash, runny nose, sneezing, breathing difficulties, constipation, diarrhea. If any of these warning signs arise, call your doctor. Great, Nicole. It's time for burping. There are 3 major burping positions. The first one is up over your shoulder. Gently lift him. Bring him up and over your shoulder.
Okay.
This seems to be a good position because his body is elongated and it makes it easier for the air and gas to come up and out of his tummy. Pat him just above his diaper line, very gently. Great, and you can also rub up with your hand, pats and rubs and interchange them. Okay, a second burping position may be sitting him up on your lap. So take him down, sit him up, put the palm of your hand on his chest.
Okay.
Take your finger and your thumb, place it on his jawline, and pat gently and rub once again just above the diaper area. And the third burping position is over your lap.
How do I do this?
Okay. Take him. We're going to lie him on our lap. Make sure his head is always facing out. And once again, pat just above the diaper area. And I interchange pats and rubs.
When do I burp, Chase?
If you're breastfeeding, I recommend burping between breaths. But if you're bottle feeding, I wait until he gives me a signal. And that would be wiggling or squiggling. He may raise an arm or a leg. But the most important thing is not to pull the bottle from his mouth before he gives you a sign.
And how long do I burp him?
If you've tried for 2 to 3 minutes by the clock and you don't get a burp, he probably doesn't have one.
Michelle, how often should I bathe my baby?
Every other day is fine, weather permitting, but you may wash their hands and face daily.
And when is the best time to bathe my baby?
It's really a personal choice, but I would recommend either after a feeding or early evening because you're going to be putting him in clean pajamas for the evening, and the bath helps to relax him for sleep. Nicole, just a reminder, never leave your baby unattended, but if you need to answer the phone or the door for any reason, bring your baby with you. Nicole, now we're going to give Chase a sponge bath, and the first thing you want to remember to do is always have clean hands. And after that, you always want to make sure you have all your supplies that you're going to need for the bath. set up. Nicole, you need to have an infant bath towel, and the reason I recommend this, it's very soft on the baby and it's easier to get into the folds of the skin when drying. You need to also have several washcloths on hand. They're easier to work with when they're wet.
Okay.
You need to have some cotton available in case when you get down to the diaper area, the baby's had a bowel movement, you can clean them off before continuing with your sponge bath. You need to have some shampoo and body wash. I also recommend having a pad on the counter where you're bathing your infant for softness and support. And you always want to have your clothes that you're going to change your baby into and a diaper on hand. And last but not least, your hairbrush to make them look nice and tidy.
Okay, let's get started.
We'll open up our towel. And then next we need Chase.
Okay.
Now what we're going to do is totally undress him except for his diaper. There he goes. Okay, always make sure you have a hand on him so you know where he's at. Hi. We'll take off his t-shirt. Just pull it over his head. Lift his head gently. We're going to leave the diaper on. Okay, we're going to wrap him nice so he's nice and warm and secure. Hi. Folding over the bath towel. Now I'm going to pick him up gently, lift him to the sink. There we go. Hi. We have the water nice and warm. If you're in doubt, always feel it with the wrist of your hand or your elbow.
Well, do I have to be careful of his soft spot?